Hi, I'm Mauricio Schuler and you're listening to The Schulering Hub, a podcast gathering hospitality professionals from around the world to talk about what hospitality is, and what it isn't, and their lives, the innovations, and the ideas that set some businesses apart and others not. We also talk about the future, the trends, and recently we embarked on a journey to search for happiness in hospitality. What makes hospitality a happy place? What are the hurdles that block happiness from happening? And what can we do to overcome them? I invite you to be part of this journey. We make this for you, so I hope you enjoy it.
And hospitality is 24/7. It never stops. So to find a proper work-life balance, I think the companies that you work for should firstly try to make a very safe environment where you can feel safe in. And I also feel that you, as an individual, you need to understand that your work-life balance is important to you. And when you are doing your shifts, that you find balance on the other side to also take care of yourself, whether that's your mental health, your physical health, spend time with your family, with your children. I think that is very important.
There is a common understanding that work-life balance doesn't apply for hospitality. We work for others to have fun. Summer holidays, weekends, dinner time, our most busiest hours. Our days off are Mondays and Tuesdays, and we travel in May and November if we're lucky. When I was working with a celebrity chef in Australia, my contract was for 20 hours a week, but I was doing 80 hours. So when I approached him to ask when he would hire more chefs and I could go back to my normal schedule, he just told me, Mauricio, what could you possibly be having more fun than here with the boys? Truth is that work and life balance for hospitality workers is measured differently. But what is work-life balance? If I would explain to my 6-year-old daughter, I would say something like, Lily, imagine that you get a new Lego set. It's fun to build and you love it. But you can't just build Lego for the whole day. You also need to go to school, eat, sleep, otherwise you won't feel well, right? For grown-ups, work is the important things that they must do. Life is like the fun and relaxed things they enjoy doing. Work-life balance means making sure they have enough time for both, so they can be happy and healthy. In episode 75, Nah-Dja and I are discussing work-life balance in hospitality, the third episode of our series, The Quest for Happiness in Hospitality, pre-recorded earlier this year. You will learn our opinion on what work-life balance is and some of the strategies that Nah-Dja used to create an environment where his employees felt safe to share when work was taking a toll on their personal lives. But first, I would like to thank you for listening and ask you for your help. Would you be against subscribing to our channel, liking and sharing this podcast? Growing our channel helps us to help more hospitality professionals by reaching them with our content, and it would mean the world to us. Now, learn something new with Schulering today. Hello, lovely people. Mauricio Schuler here, your host. And I'm with Nah-Dja, Tien, once again in the search of happiness in hospitality. Nah-Dja, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Nah-Dja, we've been searching for happiness in hospitality. We already had a little chat about happiness in hospitality. We had a very nice and full episode about emotional intelligence in hospitality with Vlatka. You've been part of a webinar on learning, and there's your episode about your life story. That's a very cool episode as well. So I invite everyone to go there and learn more about Nah-Dja. But today we are talking about work-life balance in hospitality, which is a very dividing subject when it comes to our industry. So Nah-Dja, what's your takes on work-life balance in hospitality?
Well, work-life balance, it starts with when you go into hospitality, depending on the job, but you are mostly working when other people are off. Evenings, weekends, holidays, and hospitality is 24/7. It never stops. So to find a proper work-life balance, I think the companies that you work for should firstly try to make a very safe environment where you can feel safe in. And I also feel that you as an individual, you need to understand that your work-life balance is important to you. And when you are doing your shifts, that you find balance on the other side to also take care of yourself, whether that's your mental health, your physical health, spend time with your family, with your children. I think that is very important.
I had a very interesting conversation with Alex Mumford. So big shout out to you, Alex. And he put that into question when I asked him about work life, because he's a manager in restaurants, so he is a consultant, and he has 5 kids. So I asked him, like, how can you manage that? Like, what is like the work-life balance? And his point was that he doesn't see work-life balance in hospitality as a time measurement, but more as a purpose measurement. If you are doing what you like and you are seeing purpose on it, work-life is not the big issue. Yeah, the work-life becomes an issue when you are doing something that is not what you love. What do you think about that?
Well, if you remember in one of the previous podcasts, we talked about being hospitality crazy. And I think the people that do like to serve other people, because you need to have that in your blood, or it needs to be taught to you, in your career by managers or by your parents. If you are hospitality crazy, then that is your purpose. Yeah, you like to serve people, and that makes actually a lot of sense. And when I was a little boy, I grew up in my parents' restaurant. And my parents, they were not the kind of people that at 10 o'clock in the evening said, sorry, kitchen is closed, everybody home. So sometimes we went on till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the whole team, including my parents, me, were helping in the restaurant. We saw it as an amazing thing to connect with the people that were with us. And that purpose was definitely a big thing in my life when I grew up. But not everybody has that, Mauricio. So I understand that a purpose is a big point, but you also need to have that from all the way from the top down to everybody.
As a manager, have you faced like a challenge with some of your employees having an issue with work-life balance?
Absolutely. Doing a small hotel with, 20 employees is something completely different than when you have hundreds or 100 plus employees or even more. Some things need to be institutionalized. You need standard operating procedures. People need to follow the rules of the hotels. If somebody is really unhappy, of course, you sit down and you talk. Me in my career, I try to break through these barriers by having standard operating procedures, but sometimes not enforcing them 100%. It is sometimes much easier when somebody is able to be him or herself completely than to play a role that is not 100% made for him or her. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
No, it makes sense. If I understand this, sometimes they are unhappy because they may not be in place. And even if you have the standardized operating procedures that should give them the guidance to do what they need to do, sometimes it's just their personality is a little bit different, and they can input that into the operation procedure, and it's not as standard, but probably get a little bit of the DNA as well. Is that what you mean?
Yes, I was lucky to manage a couple of hotels or open up a few hotels that made it really to the top of guest reviews in Czech Republic. And one of the reasons was that I was able to work with the people and let them be themselves. Some people can be themselves and some people cannot. Yeah, you're laughing because it is sometimes not so easy. But what I did is having very regular meetings with everybody and try to make sure that what we are doing is hospitality. We are serving. Yeah, and that needs to be the number one thing in the organization. Yeah.
So if I would ask you the strategy to deal with, as a manager, to talk to your staff and someone that may be having this challenge in their life? Would it be have a conversation one-to-one to understand that person? What would it be more?
Well, in my hotels, the personal relationship was very important. You cannot have people that are just numbers on a payroll sheet. So I was constantly in talks with people, and I allowed people as well to feel bad. So by feeling bad, the conversation automatically started. In the example of having tubes and you put your ball in, today I don't feel good, I did not go into one-to-one discussions the first time. But if the ball goes continuously into the I don't feel good part, I pick the people out and I sit down with them and I ask them, what is wrong? What can I do? How can we help each other? Unfortunately, Mauricio, life is a constant flow. It's a river that never stops and it goes into a certain direction. And you have moments that, life is not treating you very well, and you need to be understanding to it. And hopefully, because I am a boss, I am an employer, I'm able to do something for that. So for me, the discussion is really the most important.
Awesome, Nah-Dja. Thank you very much for sharing your experience, your way of seeing life, because you are an inspiration. So thank you. I remember I was part of the educational roundtable the other day, and just as watching, and one of the directors of the schools were saying that for the first time in their life, they had that conversation of work-life balance in a hotel, and was a month or so ago, because probably in his company, nobody was allowed to complain about work-life balance, and now people just don't care. So what I think that's a very important message for everyone out there is like, work-life balance may not be in the discussion board for a very long time, but probably has been an issue for a lot of people, and we need to find out just the strategies on how to understand them, but also make them understand what hospitality is. Did I get it right?
I think so. I understand it. The taboo of, okay, you need to do your job and maybe shut up if things go bad, I think that is long gone. And I think that we all need to open up and be open for people's problems as well, because everybody has them. And the better and the sooner you deal with it, the better your hospitality, your hotel or your restaurant will become.
Nah-Dja, that's why I have you here. Thank you very much for once again. And we still have so many more little chapters about searching happiness hospitality. And I will see you next time.